Racism, journalism, hypnotism, terrorism. Where's the wisdom? They attacked the nations in Africa, made them catch their man-made AIDS with polio vaccinations, and they drive their Mitsubishis. Belief in mystic genies and what's on TV distracts us from another Lisbon Treaty. Planet permissions, this planet's position, brainwashed with religion to accept their fascist decisions. People panicking, no paladin, no patron saint, battling to stay awake, pineal gland clouded by what's in our water. As a Celtic warrior, breaking every barrier, I was surprised when I realized if you believe a lie, then you can fill a lie detector like an actor in a part. Society's a stage, and the masters of the art are the laughter in the dark. Rest assured, we will not be terrorized, and this revolution will not be televised. Was Lucifer Jupiter? It's safe to say that many men have been murdered, including William Cooper, for gritting their teeth and killing the seeds of evil. These people scatter on the compost of false religious belief. It's not gonna stop by watching Top of the Pops. We need to bring change to this establishment, but not with the truck or a box, cause the ones at the top that are calling the shots like they've got it all locked. But my passion is burning like a Molotov cocktail, and my will to fight is still strong as an ox. Honest to God, habits make a mind state, and if you cut jobs and raise drug prices, it raises the crime rate. Freedom of speech means I can teach about the priest's reason to preach a fallacy that has me breathing the leaf of tobacco plants. But the truth is, there shouldn't be a they controlling each other has made the mess we see today.
I still have a dream to seek past the secrets to know what to really be free is. I still have a dream. I know you can't see this, but people, you got to believe it. I still have a dream. The secrets to know what to really be free is, so be it. I still have a dream. This nation will rise up.
Global terror is here, but we're all blinded. Chameleon governments hold info, so we don't know they're behind it. Bright media light shine in all of our eyes. Wrongly educate, exaggerate the problems of mankind. Now there's violence around us, no escaping its find us. Rebellion, martial law, and then they'll unpound us. Got a pain in my leg, must be my FEMA. Black blood being spilled over Oscar Aaron Lima. Can we just sit back and let this all happen? Like guards at the gate that got caught out napping. I invented a cure for cancer using radio waves, replacing chemical placebos with herbal remedies. Rooted the dogs out and turned it to swine flu. It wasn't on the news cause it wasn't supposed to. This is expression, revolutionary lyrical art. I'm Irish through and through and I've got fire in my heart. I'm a soldier, I told you, bend you, then fold you. Knowledge is my burden, got a lot on my shoulders. Don't shoot the messenger, stay away, I'm telling you. Listen if you like, but I'm not gonna yell at you. Blinded with money, I'm going green with envy. Thoughts in this corporate world, fucking torment you. Do you sometimes feel weak and empty? Do you think TV is there to help you? Working, sleeping, drinking, but nobody's living. Lab rats in the maze, is the life we've been given. Hold up, I think I'm gonna sneeze. Zeitgeist, I say zeitgeist. Oops, there, I said it twice, nice. Yeah, this is a prank. My name is George Hank, and I work at the bank. I'll tell you everything, then I gotta catch a flight. I want this all in the open, in plain sight.
I still have a dream to see past the secrets to know what to really be free is. I still have a dream. I know you can't see this, but people, you got to believe it. I still have a dream. The secrets to know what to really be free is, so be it. I still have a dream. This nation will rise up.
Cannabis blazes, we're rattling your cages. Truth like hot rocks, burning holes in the pages. I'm working so hard, trying to change tomorrow. I'm a fucking revolutionary like I'm Che Guevara. They try to use statutes to catch you, but I comfortably bargain on the gospel of man. Making me swear on the book that preaches equality. I came from the clay, so you can't put laws on me. 8,000 years of Celtic mythology. I demand an apology. This farce makes a mockery of me, my mind, and my spirituality. My words are just as valid as anyone's actually. So what is reality? Somebody challenge me. That's your reality, fine. Don't interrupt mine. We write for the message and not for what sells. Ancient Irish knowledge straight out of the Book of Tales.
The Irish people, inherently and historically, opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweigh the dangers which are cited to justify it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment.
Good evening.
And good evening and welcome to Out of the Bag. This is Sean Maguire live on People's Internet Radio. That's www.peoplesinternetradio.com, where we are seeking solutions. And good evening to you all. It is the 24th of the 2nd, 2016. 9 p.m. here, GMT, Irish time, of course, and hope it's a great day wherever you are. I've a great show lined up for you tonight. I have the wonderful Kai Holloway joining me very, very soon to talk about his brilliant, and I mean brilliant book, I was going to say The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, The Slave's Guide to the Galaxy. Absolutely superb stuff. We'll be talking about that and much, much more. Grand juries, common law, all that type of stuff is coming up. I am about to learn things, I hope. And later on in the show, around about the 11 o'clock mark, I will be introducing back onto the show the wonderful Liam Sheff. And Liam will be coming on for the last hour in his inimitable style to tell us how science and religion have really messed us up. And also I think he's going to be touching on what are black holes. Interesting. I'm looking forward to that. So that's later on in the show. And just wanted to say lots of messages coming into the chat room at the moment. Vin has put just a word to say happy trails to Granada Steve. He was a host here on, it was TNS at the time. He passed away. He was a wonderful man and will be missed by all. And there are lots and lots of people, excuse me, in the chat room, Mahatma Coat and Lee and John and Laurie and everybody and myself. From here, People's Internet Radio, RIP, Granada Steve, and we wish you safe journeys, as Vin says, and much love and wishes to your family and friends from all of us. I do also want to mention that we have a demonstration coming up this weekend. It's Friday, the day of the elections, as they say. Right. So I actually have Mr. Mike Gavin on the phone right now, and you're live on air. And you know what? I shouldn't open his website to look at stuff because he's obviously got our interview that I did with Mike Gavin. If you just check MikeGavin83.com, live radio, where would you get it? I was going to say that there is a demonstration this Friday, 10:30 a.m. outside the solicitor's office, but you can check all the details, and that's in Mullingar. Check all the details on www.mikegavin83.com. I also want to tell you a couple of things. Ex-SLF. Now, I've had Henry Clooney on the show, and I've played lots of ex-SLF stuff on my shows over the last few weeks. Last few months, in fact. Absolutely great stuff. They are playing on Friday night in the Voodoo Lounge in Belfast, and they are also going to be playing in Dublin at the Thomas House on the Saturday night. So Friday and Saturday they are playing. So I think tonight what I'm going to do is I'm going to play ex-SLF tracks in all the wee breaks that we might take tonight. So I'm going to carry on straight into the show and introduce onto the show again, because he was my guest Tuesday week ago on my midday show, which goes out on a midday on a Tuesday afternoon. Kai Holloway, are you with me?
Good evening, Sean. How are you, brother?
How are you? I'm doing grand, actually. It's been quite a busy old few days, but we're here again, Kai. Isn't it great to be here?
It is indeed. I'm looking forward to a good evening of conversation and ideas.
Fantastic. And listen, also, while you're on, we did chat offline, and you're going to be taking Twitters and Facebook messages and all the rest of it. But if I give out my numbers and if I give out my Skype, if people want to ring in as well, you're quite up for that. They might know more than I, to help along this interview. Brilliant. So if you want to Skype me, I've already got a couple of Skype requests, so I'm going to accept them. Sean.Maguire, so SEAN.Maguire, MAGUIRE, 651, or you can call in directly on 01254 4482. Everywhere else outside of Ireland, that's in Ireland, 01254 4482. Everywhere else, it is 00353 1254 4482, and they are the numbers to call in. tell you what, Kai, I read your book before the last interview we were on together on Tuesday week, and it really is what I think is a must-read. But would you maybe explain to the people now, while I'm accepting a couple of contact requests on Skype, would you explain a little bit about yourself to my listeners for Out of the Bag, because the first time on Out of the Bag for you, and maybe a little bit about the book as well?
Yeah, no problem. I can't say that I'm no one special. That's the name of the book. I'm same as any other bloke. Woke up about 5 years ago. You do a bit of research, you go round a circle, and you come to solutions. So, I'm not going to dwell on my past too much, because you're a different person then before you wake up. But yeah, it's all about the solutions now. So, I now live, breathe, and I just want change for our planet and world and all the rest of it. And, so that's what we've got to try and achieve. And, there's no point talking about anything else. Let's get on with the job at hand. So hence why, I've come round to end up writing this book. And, I wrote it essentially, I didn't want to write it. I wanted to write a book that was hard hitting, so people sat and read it and they were interested in reading it. So I didn't want to just be another tedious sort of, information book sort of thing. So what I decided was, okay, I'll write it as a character. And I was toying between, an Illuminati member, or I was toying of an oligarchy member. I was toying of, Winston Smith from 1984. I was going to sort of act like him after going back into the system sort of thing, and 40 years later on his deathbed confessing. But I wasn't sure, so I just thought, okay, no, I wanted to get across a ton of contempt, and not for any. I'll explain why in a second, but I really wanted to get a book that was full of facts, full of no crap, no conspiracy. Let's, not get the conspiracy and all the nonsense into it. Let's just deal with what we can see now, and that should be enough to shock somebody and get them awake and thinking, oh my God, I've got to do something. And I've had a few criticisms because a lot of people have said the book's sort of fear porn. But what they don't know is I'm doing a sequel to it, and that's A Slave's Guide to Freedom. I mean, you can't, apparently you can't heal an alcoholic unless he knows he's an alcoholic.
Exactly,
so it's sort of like it's a whip the Band-Aid off real quick sort of thing, and it's a bit of got to be cruel to be kind and all this sort of thing.
Yeah, well, the people who are saying that it's fear porn, Kai, I mean, I actually think that you've collated an awful lot of information, a great amount of information into the book. You've done it in a way like, this is what we are doing to you, and be good slaves now and take it. Take your medicine. That's how it comes across, and that's a great way of doing it. I think what it's done is it's gonna breed debate about the various topics you talk about, and the massive genocidal attack on our species.
Well, I mean, and you can't call it anything else, Sean. It's an absolute blatant attack by, the corporate members. That's all we can call them. I'm not going to get into hidden hands and all that sort of thing, because I don't think we need to. I just think we need to focus on the corporate members and look where the money goes, look who benefits from these systems that are in place. Look at the money. Where does the money go? And that is
at the moment, the money seems to be going on top politicians globally.
It's only going one way, Sean.
Yeah, what I'm saying is it seems to be going on top politicians who would then bring into law, if you like, or statutes at least, to keep the feckers safe while they kill us in premeditated slaughter.
It's ridiculous. I mean, let's just look at today's news, for example, or the past couple of days, and they've now voted for a further £30 a week cut off of disability benefits, and that's passed the motion.
Yeah.
So they are now condoning more disabled people getting into trouble, more disabled people committing suicide. They haven't actually admitted figures of people that have died through the disability cuts and whatnot. And yet they've got the cheek to be awarding themselves another another wage rise. You know,
Yeah.
the third one this year.
You see,
know,
you wouldn't mind, would you, Kai, if these wage rises lived in a society and a system where, they're printing money from nothing, which they are,
oh, sure.
but there's no usury, and then print whatever you want and be as rich as you want. We'll just get on. But no, they're actually, through their usury economic structure and fiat currency, they're managing to, whilst they get rich, squeeze and pretty much, as you say, murder many people through economic slavery.
Oh, they are. I mean, look, I'm very much of a mind that we are slaves and we are not given real wealth to play with. If you read the book, that tone should come through very, very strongly. Mm-hmm. And we do not have anything of real wealth to play with. And unless you stockhold gold and silver, which none of us do, mm-hmm. you haven't got any real wealth because you don't own your car, you don't own your home, the money you deposit in the bank, the money you've got in your hand, in your wallet, is nothing. It's paper. So we are very much under the illusion that we have wealth in our life when we really don't. And they're just all the time that they are playing with that. But see, this is the thing, and they're just I think right now they're taking the piss, and I think they actually want a revolt. And I just hope that people don't give them a revolt like they're expecting.
No. The revolution that we sorry, go on.
I hope we do it a lot more by the pen rather than the sword.
Exactly.
Because I think we've now got the consciousness and the awakening and the education we've all got now. We can actually do it a lot more clever than that. We can do it properly. We don't need to act like that.
Yeah, there's a question from Rich in the chat room, but I was actually thinking of saying something first before that, and it links in very nicely, Rich. So his question is, does Kai think a cashless society is the answer out with our own system?
Definitely not.
Not
Definitely
theirs.
not.
Yeah. But I was going to say, because it popped into my head as you were speaking, and also, experience as well. I mean, I was involved in England with a few LET systems, local economy trading schemes. What's the problem then, guys, with us having our own checkbooks, dealing with ourselves? Obviously it's not going to be on a massive scale, so it is local economy. Having our own currency, if you like. So if you live in this area, they'd be called Clune bars or something. Whatever, acorns if you live near a flipping.
We need to go back to a Bradbury pound, and I'm sure you've heard of the Bradbury pound.
Yeah, in the UK, yeah.
Yeah. A printed currency from our own. Now, can we just go back a step a minute, because we were talking about wage rises for MPs. I personally think we now have a system where we can have voluntary MPs, and I think they should all be of and sorry, I've got to be careful what I say now. Experienced age. They've got to be all of it. Maybe perhaps retired. Maybe retired volunteers that purely vote on these things. Maybe it can be a rotating, but they should all be voluntary anyway. I don't have all the answers, but we do not need these corporate mugs in, the place or the position that they've got.
Absolutely not.
There's way too much of it.
I mean, if you're in the playground, Kai, and you see some bullying going on, if you're brave enough, you step in and you stop the bullying from going on, and that's what we've got to be. We've got to be brave enough and stop this bullying going on, and we've got to show them exactly who we are. There's more of us than them. They're the cowards, or else they wouldn't need all their might behind them and their brainwashing techniques to have their minions working for them, etc. I mean, we really are in a situation where it's so simple to see their evil now, their lies and their greed. It's so easy. And your book, by the way, Slave's Guide to the Galaxy, is definitely a fantastic step in the right direction for anybody who just wants to check out what is actually going on. Because there's a lot of people that hear about this, they hear about that. You've kept it to the ones that are tried, tested, documented, verified. This shit's going on, Kai.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wanted to unequivocally prove that we are in a really bad situation, and I think we are all slaves. I don't think there's any other context that you can put on it. We are all slaves to a system that you have consented to, whether knowingly or not, all the rest of it. But to be honest, I've had a great response from it, Sean. I really have. And we've had over 5,000 downloads now, by the way.
Brilliant.
Which is absolutely amazing. But if I can just make a note on that, anyone that's downloaded the book, can you please comment and rate on the Amazon listing?
Yes.
It's so important. And can I just say why? Because the algorithms keeps it up top, it keeps it a bestseller, and the main thing we want to do is wake people up. And if they get, this is the point of the book. It's so unequivocal. They can't argue with it. There's nothing in there. It's all documented fact. There's no.
I tell you what you've done, Kai. You've taken it a step. I don't know if you've heard of Andy Thomas, have you?
I can't say I have, my friend.
Okay, well, he sort of wrote a book, many, many years ago, which I read, and I thought, right, if I'm going to show or give a book to a friend or family to sort of wise them up to what's going on around them they didn't know,
That's what I wanted, yeah.
This would be the book to do it. Now, you've taken it a step further. He was quite vague back then, because really he would have been in a lot of trouble, right? Yeah. If he'd have come out with what you're coming out with now. But you're not, because because we've moved on, haven't we? You know.
Well, I hope so. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still up. And I'm, because there's I'm not going to mention too many things in there because I don't want to. But there's certainly in the history section, there's a couple of things that I certainly know are hot in the topic in today's news, and I know they're getting clamped on. Because of pressures from certain countries and whatnot. And so I'm surprised it's still up at this point in time. But if they take it down, there's no such thing as bad press. And we'll find a way, we are strong,
Absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
But I really need you guys to rate it, comment on it, and get it up there and keep it up there as long as we can, just because then the more people will read it that wouldn't normally, and that was the point of this.
Well, let's first of all tell them how to get the book. So it's only available on Amazon, is it?
It is at the moment. The only reason I went on Amazon was because it's the biggest platform in the world, and we're selling it now all around the world, Sean. I've had downloads from Japan, I've had downloads from Brazil, Mexico, and it's great information, because we should all be joining. This is a global problem we've got. It's not just our country or, so that's the reason I went on Amazon. It's the main platform. Sorry, excuse me a minute. But what we are doing is we're getting some paperbacks printed, which to be quite honest is probably the best way to do it, because then it's in hard copy and it can be passed around people and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And people can also email me. If you want to email me at peacekeeperhq@outlook.com, I'll be more than happy to send you a copy. We will also have a donation page. If people don't quite have the few quid that the book is, they can chuck a quid in there or 50 pence or something. And I'll also send a page, the book. So we just want to get it out there as much as possible, because remember, it is a fundraiser. It's going to a real good cause. It's all going to go to common law activities, and we want to cause real change. So keep the book up there. That's the main thing,
Yeah. I'm getting a couple of questions in the chat room. Actually, Unique Lee is saying, a slight problem. You have a feudal system at the foundation. So how does Kai propose to end this feudal system and land allegedly owned by a thing called the Crown? People out there believe that land is theirs, and they have armies to make sure the land stays in its possession, not only on paper. Slaves and landlords, not much has changed since the 11th century. I actually, because you were chatting away, I just say end it, feck 'em, But
well, no. I mean, sorry, is that what's his name? Lee.
Lee, yeah.
Lee. What I can say, my friend, I don't have all answers. What I work on is what I want to bring back to the communities is a lawful justice system. And I want to be able to put enough pressure on the local police, who need our help, by the way, and we need their help. I'm one for joining with, I'm not one for division, so we've got to help these people. They're losing the pensions and the wages. They're getting privatized. They all know what's going on. So, it's all about joining forces. But I don't have the ultimate answers in, there's better people out there that, well, that's things we can sort out. The main thing is we need justice and law brought back to our community.
That's the stuff. I think, look, once we start arresting the people at the top that are obviously breaking laws, I mean, I just think that the people that are these big landowners will be shown to be these very people right at the top. So, I don't know.
I mean, I think if we can take the councillors down in our local areas, the corrupt coppers that are working in those areas, those sort of middle gatekeepers, if you like, those sort of security guards in the Stanford effect, Sean,
Yeah.
Those sort of people, then we've got a chance we can come in through the back door, and sort of and take it down that way. But we've all got to. This is what we're going to get into in the next hour. But yeah, I need a lot of people to step. See, people all want to say, what are you going to do about it? Yeah. Excuse me, people, right? This is us. And we have to do something about it. Yeah. What is my idea? I don't have all the ideas. I've got a proposal on the table. If you've got something to add to it or put to it, let's get together. Let's get it on, but let's talk solutions. Let's stop being divided and let's work.
Absolutely.
We've got to work at it. There's no point sitting behind a keyboard and saying, oh, I'm changing the world. You're not. All right. It's more about sending out memes and posts. It's about we've got to get our community sorted. And this is what we're going to talk about in a bit. But that's all I can suggest at this point, Sean,
Absolutely.
But yeah, carry on.
I mean, look, we're in a place where the masses, and I mean it, we're waking people up or making them more aware of what's going on more and more and more and more, and we're joining hands. This is a global effort. I mean, there's so much changing, and there's so many people coming together and discussing things that they never ever were able to before. The internet has been fantastic, great for their economy, and they obviously want it to be electronic, so that's what they're going to use it for. But we can actually use it for them not to make this massive takeover, etc. So, your book is, I just think, if you haven't got it, I think it's less than £4, is it?
Well, it's free until midnight tonight. Okay?
Get in there quick, guys.
Get in there quick. I've been giving it away for free for 5 days in the hope all of you would go on there and comment on it. Yeah, so there should be 5,000 comments.
That'd be
Up
nice,
to this point, I've got 16. So come on, guys. Help us out. Get those comments and ratings on there, Do your bit.
Yeah,
tiny bit.
Well, Rich has actually just mentioned something. He said, first of all, great discussion, which is very good. Thank you, Darby, saying the same. Good stuff, Kai. He says, personally, my change in service is all to grow food. Well, that's part of the revolution. The revolution.
We should be teaching our kids that.
Yep, the revolution is exactly that. It is to know what exists to heal us, how we can grow, how we can share, and it really is on a bottom ground level. The way we should go about things. I've never, on such a low amount of money, because I'm not a very rich poet, okay, I've never had such a good time with our frugal lives. In other words, the little I have is going further.
My friend, this is a great time to be alive, and it is, I think, when you truly wake, the money isn't what matters, and I'm the richest man on the planet. Do you know that? I've got 3 beautiful kids. I've got a couple of dogs. I've got a small but lovely house. I've got a forest out my back garden. I can see the view from my front. I'm disabled. I've got bugger all money. But it's that's a tiny portion of what makes me whole, and people, that's what happens when you wake up. You appreciate these things, and it's, you don't get wrapped up in the Jeremy Coyle crap of life,
Who's he?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And materialism, it's, that's not what matters,
It's so funny. I mean, obviously, I'm very lucky, and I have a couple of children and a beautiful wife and a lovely place to live, and we grow our own food and all the rest of it. But we have a thing that because they go to school and talk to other friends, and they've told me, well, I can't have conversations, and I'm out of the conversation with this and that and the other. And I said, well, you're well to be out of them. But they actually have a thing called crap telly night.
I know what that is, Sean.
Yeah, and and for one evening a week, I don't really go there often, I don't sit with them, but for one evening a week, they have a thing called crap telly, and they will watch shite TV. And what's really good is that it's proven to them how shite it is. Yeah.
That's it. I mean, I think waking up, we used to watch all EastEnders and all that crap, because you do. That's what you're brought up to do. Your parents were watching Coronation Street and all this nonsense.
Yeah.
And, so you're sort of brought up to be indoctrinated by that black box in the corner of everybody's room. And you sit there in front of that as your solace and comfort, unfortunately, nowadays. And,
it's like the Black Mirror in the house, isn't it?
Oh, chuck 'em out, and don't get me wrong, I've got a TV in my house, but, it's music on all day, it is nice at night to sit and watch a film. I'm not going to lie about that. But it's moderation, isn't it?
It's choice, it's discernment. Can
choice,
we discern? I'm going into people's houses and they have got the TV on, no volume, and we're trying to talk. We're trying to talk. Now I've got to the stage where, because I'm a little bit brash than most, a little bit more brash than most people, I'll say, oh, we're not watching this, are we? Can I flick it off?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. People don't realise there's ELF waves and all these sort of things going on behind the screen now. And even if the song's not on, you can be, have you noticed, you go into a living room full of people watching a TV show or something. They're all sitting there with their mouths open, sort of just in a daze watching the box. And it's not even like they're enjoying it. They're just sitting there hypnotized by the box. And it's crap.
I do find when, I remember going around to my mother's and the children when they were very young, they might actually be busy colouring or playing and doing stuff when a program is on. But when the adverts come on, they swing their heads round and they're staring at the telly.
Yeah.
Even as little children.
But Sean, I mean, I don't know what it's like over in Ireland now, but do the kids play out in the street and all that still?
Well, where I live, there's not a lot of kids, but...
no, I know you're right rural, aren't you?
Yeah, but...
over here, no.
Yeah.
There's no kids out. There's just no kids out, like we were. We'd be kicked out at 8 o'clock in the morning, come back 7 o'clock at night filthy,
Yeah.
But now, do you know what I mean? There's no kids out, they're all indoors.
Well, there's also the fear as well. I mean, parents are driving their children to maybe their sport activities, sitting outside a community centre and then picking them up from a school or whatever and driving them home. There's all this fear.
Yeah.
If that fear was instilled into my parents when I was a kid, they'd be shitting themselves every night because I was hardly ever back until it got dark.
Yeah, I mean, we're just bombarded by it now, aren't we? And it's, this is the thing we've got to change, and it's, it's, the whole system needs changing. That's the thing. It's a whole...
So there we go. How do we change stuff? That's really... I was on OIM, thanks, Steve, to allow me on
Good show that was.
On Sunday. Oh, did you listen to it?
I did indeed. Good show.
Well, thank you. And Steve was great. I just wanted to say... There was a point that I made there that we didn't really go down that route, but I'd like to go down it with you if possible. That is the idea that we've got 166 TDs already proven that if they're not criminals, they're complicit to criminality. So they all need at least arresting and questioning over a lot of this stuff. And that includes the drugging of a nation and the lies through RTE and all that type of stuff. And I was just thinking, what do you think of the idea I mooted, and I'll moot it again, where there's 166 TDs. If we can get 166 brave people who are willing to be the people who will issue warrants for their arrest or go along with guards who have got the warrants for the arrest of these 166 TDs to replace them maybe temporarily, as they are in Ireland a de facto provisional government anyway. That is all we'll be replacing it with, another de facto provisional government until we can sort things a bit further. But my idea was that each one of these human beings that were brave enough to stand up, if they could all have 1,000 people each, and I think in this internet world that we're living in, or even just knocking on doors if you live in a city or whatever, it's possible to get 1,000 people each. So 166,166 people all go into their Garda station, not all the same Garda station, in other words, 166 different Garda stations around the country, all reporting these crimes at once in an organised, timed manner. That there is, and when you're in there, they can't ignore you because you're saying there's another 168 people with 1,000 people at Garda stations doing exactly the same thing all over this country. Could we not then just arrest the feckers at the top?
Well, if we had 166,000 coordinated people in the UK, we'd be able to pull something like that off. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
But I think the numbers that we have were not even close to that. I think we have enough people. This is what we wanted to go on to. We certainly have enough people to start the ball rolling. And what I mean by that is, I've looked extensively into this, Sean, because of the peacekeeper thing. And what we need to get the paperwork right. And I don't care, people, because they say we need our own system. If we're going to take down a system or prove it's unlawful, we need a system to replace it. And what I mean by that is a court system. So we need a rolling jury service, whether people like it or not. This is what we need. We need grand juries every area, every week, rolling, constantly going until we get the warrants, the wax signed sealed warrants that we need for each area to clean up their own. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, yeah. And
that is very simple to do, and we need about 50 people an area.
Okay. Well, it seems to be like my little idealistic without really looking at the ins and outs of it.
No, but you're bang here. Look, my friend, if we had 166,000 people, we could take Parliament tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the simplicity of it. 166,000 coordinated people. The UK Army couldn't pull that up in a day.
No.
But that's numbers we hope to get to,
Yeah.
But like I say, with the peacekeeper and grand jury thing that we're looking at doing now, we can literally do it with small numbers per area. But it takes dedication. It takes people that want to get off their arse. It takes motivated people. It takes effort. And unfortunately, that seems to be something that's extremely lacking because people are always going, how are you going to fix it? They want to...
Okay, we'll sod that. I think we are getting to the stage, Kai, where you've got to realise yourself now, come on, I'm dragging you by the hand and I'm pulling you into the next level and I'm saying, actually, there are a lot of people who do want to do it. They're just frustrated. They're saying, what can I do? They're not saying, what are you going to do? They're actually saying, what can I do now? I really do think that's happening. People are so frustrated. They're seeing their family and friends, some of them dying of mistreatment through our medical system, and some of them taking their own lives due to economy.
I agree. I do agree. Yeah, I do agree. Well, let's put it to the test, okay? Let's put it to the test. I need a coordinator, we're going to call him, let's say, a natural law peacekeeping sheriff. I need a main sheriff coordinator in each area of the UK and Ireland to contact me, who is willing to do the work in their community stroke area and liaise with me, and we'll all work really hard to make the system work in their area. Let's see how many people come back to you that are willing to fill those positions in the communities all around the UK and Ireland.
Okay, well then let me pretend I'm one of these people that might think, hey, that's a good idea. Okay.
Yep.
I email you, Kai, and my email says to you, hi Kai, I really like your ideas of the peacekeeping. I don't know anything about law. I don't know anything about common law really much. I'm not a specialist in anything particular. How can I be trained? How can I know? How can I do a good job for you?
Yeah. I've got all the paperwork prepared for that scenario that will teach that sheriff or coordinator, whatever you want to call them, exactly what they need to do to go on to the next step. And there's a few steps we need to do. We need to set up a Peacekeeper Public Trust, i.e. let's say it's in Birmingham, so it'd be Peacekeeper Birmingham Public Trust, yeah. Mm-hmm. There needs to be a bursar. There needs to be grand jury set up. There needs to be, there's a lot that goes into it, and there needs to be a website or a Facebook page set up for the area. There's a lot of work, and this is what I say to you, these people have to be prepared to work hard and really want to make a change and drive it in their area. This is take Nottingham, for example. We spent a lot of time in Nottingham last year, and there's 200 people up there, bless them, all wanting change, and exactly like you say. And there was meant to be meetings set up last year, but I'm down in Eastbourne, so I can't set these things up, But they need to have weekly meetings. They need to get together to get a grand jury a complaint held. You need to have 2 witness statements, yeah? So it's all things like these. All we need is 2 witness statements per councillor or per rotten judge, and we can have a case held in a grand jury. That's a proper way to do it. Okay. That's the paperwork that needs doing.
So my next question to you is, okay, so you've got hard-working people who you've got the information that can get them into a position where they know what they're doing. Okay. Yeah. So where is the grand jury then next? Where does that happen?
Well, this is building.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, what were you saying?
I was going to say, is there a building? Is there a structure? Is it already in?
Is it up
to the individuals who get involved at the beginning to create that? I mean,
Well, I would be suggesting community centres or places like that at this point in time. I mean, this is where the funding comes in from the book and all this sort of thing. It's all these things take money and time and all the rest of it, but there are meeting places we can use. The grand jury setting doesn't need to be a specific allocated building as such. It could be a private property. It could be not ideal, but it could be above a pub. If it's quiet and there's seating and it's all done properly, there's a system to go through to swear the jury members in, and there's a head sitting up there, judge if you like. There's a certain procedure to go through. It's all very lawful and proper. But we need the people. We need the coordinators. We need people to stand up and make it all happen and really drive it weekly settings. And then what would happen then? So let's say there's been a policeman, or let's say there's been a bailiff, right? Mm-hmm. That's come and taken, let's say your water, over in Ireland. Let's say that, yeah? So now these guards are protecting the water meter installers, whatever they're doing, blah, 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 blah. So there's plenty of witnesses out there. So a peacekeeper needs to go out, collect a couple of witness statements, more if he can, yeah? Yeah. There's a certain form to do that. There's a certain way to do that. I've also got the information to teach them how to do that, yeah? So they take down the witness statements, yeah? That is a lawful document, yeah? He takes them along to his local grand jury meeting. There'll be an administrator, somebody else that's volunteering or helping or doing whatever.
So hang on, I want to cut across there. Sorry, Kai, and you will be able to continue. So the judges are also needed to be set in place, and the people belonging to the judicial little order of the grand jury need to be there already and trained.
The judge, if you like, is pretty much immaterial in this case. All he does is look over the proceedings and make sure it all ticks the boxes. It's the jury that makes a decision.
Right. Yeah? Right.
It's not a judge. It's a jury, and what the jury says stands. The judge is there just to look over the proceedings and make sure it all ticks the lawful boxes. And unfortunately, the judges you see nowadays don't do that. But, the judge is pretty much immaterial in this case. He's just like watching over proceedings.
Okay. Well, look, we haven't had any callers yet, so obviously people are just very happy with the information that you're getting. But just to remind people, if they wanna call in, that they can go get to me on my Skype, which is Sean.Maguire651, or call in on these numbers in Ireland. 01254 4482. Everywhere else 00353 1254 4482. So it's the same number, but with the international dialing code and the 0 dropped from the 01. It's as simple as that. Hopefully, we will we will get a few callers. But I tell you what, we'll put on a tune now. So I'm actually going to have a wee break, as they say. So if anyone calls right at this minute, I might not see it because I got my tunes, overriding my Skype. So I'm going to put on a tune. We're going to have a wee break. Is that okay with you, Kai?
Indeed.
Okay. Well, look, I wanted to play a little bit of Stiff Little Fingers, ex-SLF, the wonderful band. It's actually got Henry Clooney and Avi Tazarian from people would know Michael Tazarian in his work. He's the bass player, and Jim Riley on drums, the original drummer from the Inflammable Material tour. So I'm going to play 2 tracks in a row, because they're all short tracks, really, apart from Johnny Was. So I'm going to play 2 tracks in a row now, give Kai a bit of a break and myself, get a cup of tea or whatever, and we'll be back after Inflammable Material and Torrens Avenue by ex-SLF.
Back into the dark. The one you believe in has it
welcome back to Out of the Bag. This is Sean Maguire live on People's Internet Radio. That's www.people'sinternetradio.com, where we are seeking solutions. And that was the wonderful, wonderful Inflammable Material EP I'm going to be playing tonight as a bit of a precursor to XSLF playing in Belfast and Dublin Friday and Saturday. Inflammable Material was the first track, and Torrens Avenue was that track just then. Absolutely brilliant. Welcome back, Kai. Are you still with me?
I am indeed, my friend.
Brilliant. Listen, I've got Salmo in the chat room is saying, let me just have a look up a bit, because the chat room is going well. Oh yeah, what part of Brigadoon is your guest from, Sean?
Yeah, I've been all around Edinburgh, Glasgow area. I've been all around, really. You know, yeah, absolutely good shout, that, man.
We've got this. You know, Scotland is free on a Monday night, and all. We've got quite a few Scottish listeners as well to the show. So,
happy days.
Oh yeah, use everything you got. Buy his book. No, sorry, I didn't say that. Look, it's something that we definitely know we're in a situation where we've got to make some changes. We've got to do things. We've got to, as you say, get off your arse and organise. And what you're doing is you're giving us an outlet, a direction to organise. So would you tell us about your Peacekeepers group, if that's possible, and how it's going, how it started, etc.?
Okay. If I just have the floor here for a few minutes, my friend.
You got it.
Okay, guys. We need an organisation that gets taken completely seriously. There is so much corruption in every organisation that's out there. We need a public body that is owned by the people, for the people. So if we have these peacekeepers, and I mean community members, we're bringing the old Bobby back. That's effectively what it is. We're bringing the Bobby back. They can be patrolling their own areas. They can be doing the lawful rebellion. Let's not call it lawful rebellion. Doing what's right, because the warrants, etc., that these guys are using are just complete crap. They're nonsense. They're rubbish. You know, so we need to start looking after our own communities. And if we can get an organisation that big that it's recognised throughout the whole country, everybody knows it's for them, it backs them up. That's what we're all looking for, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That's what we need. You know, so if that public group, whether it be under the Peacekeeper or whatever you want to call it, I just think the Peacekeeper is applicable because it encompasses what we need to do. And as far as I'm concerned, we should be doing the child abuse investigation. We should be doing all of these. As they start cutting back the police services, we should be filling the gap. We should be saying, no, okay, we'll patrol this estate, blah, 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 blah. But while we patrol this estate, we'll take all the bailiff calls, all this sort of stuff. We'll only call you if there's a real emergency, you know, lobbying, proper danger, you know, when there's a time that the police need to be called. Otherwise, you know, we can handle it. And I think that's where the difference will come. And if we've got a public body that just doesn't take any shit, you know, that's what it comes down to. We're not going to listen to their crap anymore. We know they are completely corrupt. And all it takes is upstanding members of the community to act organised. And I've got to say something else, you know, I've been trying this for 4 years now to get people to try and get behind something proper solution based. And I've been told, people fall out over the most menial stuff. We've got to stop treating it like it's a social club. This is not a social club. This is a revolution, people. And it's all fine and dandy to build relations and all this sort of thing and free, you know, love and consciousness. Yes, I know, but we've got a job to do. And when we're working, can we keep all that crap out of it? You know, we've just got to be highly motivated, highly organised. They're organised. We need to be organised as well. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, anonymous masks should come off. Peacekeepers should be initiated. And that we would have the numbers in every town, in every community, all the rest of it. There's upstanding people in every community that are just sitting there waiting for the right thing to get behind, like you say, Sean, to be motivated. They're ready. Contact me. Let's get it on. Let's get it organised. There's nothing we cannot do in this situation. And if we can clean up our own doorsteps, we've got half a chance at this fucking mess.
Okay, well, Salmo in the chat room is saying it's just Freeman shite.
Not at all. It's not Freeman shite at all. It's law. I'm talking about the law that these guys are getting away with. I'm not talking about... have you heard me talking about getting away with traffic tickets or driving an unregistered car? No, you haven't.
No.
I'm talking about law being implemented on the people that are untouchable.
Absolutely.
That's bang out of order, you know, and that's what we're trying to fix. Nothing else. That's my solution.
Okay. No, well, look, I mean, I'll put my, simple poet's ideologist head on, my idealist head. Wouldn't it be great if, the communities did, like we've got an election coming up this Friday coming, okay? And unless it's rigged, and if it is, then obviously it's going to be Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, or a mixture of both, coalition with a Labour or whatever. If it's rigged, that's what it'll be, okay?
Well, you know it's rigged.
Well, I'm just saying, if it's rigged, that's what it'll be.
Ideologist,
yeah. Exactly. If it's not, then, there's DDI and there's independents, which, well, DDI are really a group of independent people who have basically, it's not a party as such, it's more of a sort of a methodology. And these people have gathered together. They're the new political party in Ireland. There is another one called Renewa, but that's just Fine Gael with horns. Okay. And basically, there's loads of independents. Also, we've got to be careful there because some of the independents are Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, etc., just pretending to be independents. Okay? So we've got to look at the people in our communities that are standing for election, who they are, what they are, how they stand, what they stand for, what they've done in their communities already, which is why I think with Ben Gilroy in DDI, you've heard of Ben's work.
Ben's a hero, yeah.
Well, exactly. He's one of the main men running in Meath, I think, East Meath for DDI. Yeah. I was told by the local radio here in Galway that my wife has actually moved the canvassing ticket. But anyway, was told by Galway Bay FM, which is the local most listened to radio station in Galway City and County. That the DDI guy didn't get his paperwork in time and he's not running. So they've tried to psychologically put this man out of their minds so that they won't go on.
They did that to Michael Docherty. And,
isn't that rude?
Yeah, I mean, they did that to Michael Docherty over here this year, or last year, I should say. And he was running for some, I can't remember what area he was running for, but they basically shunned him out of it as well. But I mean, ultimately here, can we really have hope in one person who, no matter how heroic those people are, can we really expect them to be able to go into a corrupt system and change it by themselves? That's the thing. They're walking into a systemically mullered institution.
Well, do you know what? My idea of getting the 166 people to be there ready to step in, that's what I mean. People from the community who've been pushed forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and when they do, they will be going into that mullered political arena, but they'll be going into it to change the mullering, Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, by all means, this is what I say, Sean, that these things need to be sat down and talked about by a serious bunch of people, and there hasn't been any discussions like that as far as I know. I know that I talk to certain people and we all conspire, if you like. And, but we're arranging things all the time, but, we need to actually sit down and organize these things and get the ball rolling. But yeah, I'm with you, man, we should have there's certainly those people that we don't need the amount of governance we've got. And absolutely over here, I reckon a couple hundred people would do it. It's not, but that's sort of a republic then we're leaning on, isn't it? It's sort of, for the people, everybody's consideration is taken in, it's,
well, if the Irish people, talking for Ireland here now, because we still are a recognised sovereign state, believe it or not,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We're not recognised by the people, actually,
Yeah.
because they don't bloody know it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, so obviously ours is an education and an information game, just like yours is, just like we all are, just trying to get the
Oh,
information out there.
absolutely.
But we've got a situation where we've got, if we did this, now I'm going to chuck a sort of a spanner in the works, but also something that maybe we need to be even more organised than we could ever have imagined. The people at the top, the elites, they are, had it proven to us for centuries, absolute despotic, psychopathic, sociopathic nutters who don't care about depopulation or genocide. They don't care about that, right? So if Ireland, let's use Ireland as an example because it's basically a small city in the UK, right? If Ireland's population did do what we're meant to do, and we did be awakened by the truth and by what our rights we've got and where our true constitutions lies and what the history of it and everything, and that it is de facto never ratified by the Irish People's Government actually sitting in the Royal Oireachtas right now. If people knew all this, and add to that there's a consolidated fund and all our money, all our taxpayers' money goes into that, and that goes to the Crown and the Vatican. If people knew that, there would be a revolution tomorrow. Now, what I'm saying is, if we actually became successful, these guys would just look at the size of our island. They just bomb it, get rid of us, end of chat. Don't show the rest of the world what they can do. So
Yeah,
I think we even have to, I don't know, try and get a few. Number one, be absolutely massively transparent all the way down the line, so there's no hidden agenda or no secrets.
Well, that's right, Sean. And with the power of the social media we have now, it would go absolutely viral.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I'm really upset with the Michigan-Oregon thing.
Yeah.
The Oregon standoff, because that could have been it. That could have really been the catalyst because they were there for the completely right reason, and they were completely lawful to be there. And to be honest, I'm waiting for the first American to turn around and shoot a copper and lawfully do so, And, that's...
Not that we ever want that to happen, but,
No, absolutely not. Don't get me wrong. Get me wrong. But, they'd be completely within the right, But that Oregon standoff was just such a shame, and it was such a missed opportunity.
Well, the media used it. The media manipulated it and changed
absolutely.
it.
But see, like you say, if we're completely transparent at all times, and this is what I was always going to do with a peacekeeper, any actions we ever did would be completely live. There would be no pissing about. It would just be completely disclosed to everyone, It's, and that's the only way to be now,
Absolutely. But the point I was going to add to that, right? Once we're transparent and everybody knows exactly what we're doing, we might actually have to ask for the aid, if you like, or the backing of a superpower like Russia or China or someone like that to say, no, if you fuck them, but just because they're doing good and they're getting their act together, we're here to protect them.
I would hope that the people in these countries would hear about what you were doing through the social media videos and the emails and all that sort of stuff, and they would completely copy exactly what you're doing. I think the world is ready for it now, but they just need to be shown the way.
Maybe so. I'm still, as much of an idealist as I am, and I do think we're winning this. That's why they're making mistakes.
Oh, we are.
Yeah. But even so, the Super Bowl was on last week, and apparently it was the third most watched live event on the planet ever in history.
Yeah, we're a tiny minority, but we've got enough numbers to pull off stuff like this. If we've got 50, 100 people in each area, we can be causing so much lawful damage. It's not true.
Brilliant. Yeah, I know. I agree. I think we should be taking everybody to court on their actions as human beings outside of their office, especially as their actions usually have taken them out of their office before we do.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just a development of where we all are now. And we are all just really looking for the way out. And ultimately it is arresting these people. And we have got the lawful remedy there. It's sitting right in front of our faces. But we've got to be bothered to go and do it, and that's literally what it comes down to, Sean. I'm sorry to say, but that is what it comes down to. We've just got to get organised now.
Yeah. Actions speak louder than words now, don't they?
Yeah, and it's just, let's do it. We need the people, we need the numbers, we need the dedication, and we need to know what we're doing for. It's not a social trip, it's work. It's not work, it's life and bloody death. You know?
It is. It's the future generations of our planet, for God's sake.
Well, it's my children. I can't turn round in years to come, or I can't wait. I cannot I cannot go through, and this is where we're so wrong, I cannot put my kids through what people in Syria are going through just now. And we're causing that. You know, we started all that shit. I can't put my kids through any sort of war scenario, and it makes us sound so wrong, you know.
Yeah.
But because of what we've done. But we have got a duty to the rest of the world to stop our governments. We're in the bloody place, mate, because it's not right what we're doing, you know.
No, so wouldn't it be great if, you know, Obama and Clinton and all them were marched off to Guantanamo Bay and in the FEMA camps, and over here in Ireland, you know, all the prisoners that are in there for their TV licenses. Another one was arrested and jailed this week.
Really?
Yeah. You know, yet the bankers, they did nothing wrong, did they? They didn't even have a license to be a bank.
This is it. Yeah. We've got all the proof. The paperwork is all there. You know, it's so easy to get done, you know, but we've just got, and you know something, right? My book, going back to the book, I very explicitly explain the Stanford experiment for a reason.
Yes.
Yeah. And these police that are patrolling us are very easily turned. We've just got to push the right buttons.
Yeah.
And if we can do that, they're all there. They're there. You know, they're as much a victim as we are.
Absolutely. And, they're abused too.
We've got to organise and just think. Use our heads, not the anarchy and the protest and days are done, my friends. Mm-hmm. And even a violent revolution, we can do that without. We can, you know.
Well, uniquely in the chat is saying he agrees with the anonymous masks being taken off. He never liked that. I totally agree with that one. Yeah. Muppet is saying, is the book only available on Kindle ebook?
Everyone, if you've got an Android device or a laptop, you can download the Kindle app. Okay, people. Yeah. Now what I will be sending out, if you contact me tomorrow for a donation, I will email you the PDF.
That's good.
Yeah, so that's not an issue.
Well, that's great, because Joan is saying via Amazon, she never has touched Amazon, doesn't want to use Amazon. So
they don't pay tax.
Yeah, can you give me
no one should pay tax. So you know who's doing right and who's doing wrong.
We don't know. Anyway. No, maybe that's not the reason, but maybe there's many other reasons. But I just want to say to you, so could you give me your email address again?
peacekeeperhq@outlook.com.
HQ at Outlook, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
.com. And if you send me an email through that, guys, I'll send you the Indigo link, or the Indigo link's on my Twitter, on my Facebook, or it's on the Peacekeeper blog, which Sean's got on the blog there as well.
Brilliant. So that's great. So now people, Darby says, all happy now. So you'll be getting a few books going that way, I'd say.
And like I say, there's a paperback coming out soon, which I'd love to get out. I don't think we're going to have it depends how quick we can organise, but I think they really want to, let's see what happens. But it'd be good to have a load of paperbacks out there, you know.
And something I don't know if it's in your book or if you can add it, if you're able to, a sort of a signing up to the Peacekeepers. Is that in there? I didn't really check.
No, well, I'm writing the next book, my friends. This was what I was going to say. A lot of people have sort of said, oh, it's fear porn and all the rest of it. But like I was saying earlier, it's ripped the Band-Aid off. And there's a book 2 coming out, and it's a slave's guide to freedom. Yeah, and it's going to have all of this stuff in it. It's going to have I'm going to go through every way of getting out of every consenting jurisdiction that they think they have over you, i.e. from a TV license to court actions. We're going to do all of that, as long as it's not involved with a common law harm. You know, obviously if you hurt someone or steal off them, you deserve to get your collar felt. But, you know, all the other sort of stuff, I'm going to put absolutely everything in there, humanly possible to get one out of that situation.
Yeah, and it's just amazing that our law enforcement officers around the world aren't doing their job.
This is the thing, but they're indoctrinated. You know, it's Stanford experiment again. You know, they're all sort of my gang, your gang. You know, and they're all in there taking steroids and pumping iron and doing the back deals. They're all nicking drugs off the dealers and God knows what, and so, you know, doing what. You know, they're only as human as we are. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. But ultimately, you know, yeah, the police service is now hiring the wrong character. And it should be brought back down to community-based. And to be honest, I remember the local Bobby, Sean. Do you remember your local Bobby?
I do, of course, yeah.
And I had more than a slap over of him at points, and deservedly so. You know, I was a toe rag, you know. And that's what we need to bring back. And there was none of this sort of fine yarn money. It's all money now, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean,
driving people into the floor, you know.
Now instead of seeing a young fella doing some naughty stuff and reprimanding him, and it used to be a reprimand, right? Now it's looking for people, even when they don't know they're doing wrong, telling them that they're doing wrong, and then fining them.
That's right, because it's all a monetary scheme. After that, the prison. Look at the prison scheme that's in my book. You know, it's just an absolute farce. It's slave labour in a modern day. You know, proper. You know, 23 pence an hour and all that, and building IKEA furniture and Starbucks packaging and working for all these major corporations. It's an absolute joke, you know. And so they need to fill these people, and not only that, the councils have contracts to make sure these prisons are filled. You know, that's how backward it is. And watch now this TPP bloody thing's gone through. It's only going to get worse, you know. But stuff that, it's all statutes and acts. It doesn't matter. And it's not real law, my friend.
Okay, well, here's something I'm going to throw at you, which I think is a bit of a curveball, actually, and probably not very fair. Okay, but just to warn you, is that I had Kevin Annett. You heard of him, have you?
I have.
Okay, I had him on
I don't trust him.
Well,
yeah.
There you go. I had him on my show many times. I was willing to meet him here in Ireland, set up courts here in Ireland, go with proper research, documented, verified, to get the paedophile priests and all the rest of it, and you know, make them accountable. And I was very, very excited when I first heard what he was doing. I thought it was sure, you know, how can I know if somebody's telling me the truth? Kai, you might just be a shyster. You might be just making loads of money and fecking off, because that's what it seemed he ended up doing. Now, I'm not sure whether he did that, and I've still got this, as I said, my simple poet, idealistic head on me. And, you know, if all the stuff I've heard through hearsay is true, then he is a shyster. If the stuff that I've been told isn't true, then my platform and my door is still always open to somebody who's actually going to try and do something positive and good. So I know you don't trust him. Is that another divisionary thing? Should you be talking to him and checking out what he's doing?
Well, no, not at all. I actually looked at the paperwork, and that's all I sort of did. And then I went into a bit of his past, and I don't know. I just didn't take. I was always looking for a warrant that I could use, Sean.
Yeah.
And that's what I looked at him for, because I was thinking, I'm going to arrest some fucker. As long as I've got the lawful means, I'm fucking there. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And so I've looked at loads of these things, and there's also there's another thing. There's an international internet court, and they've deemed loads of things. But I've looked at the warrants, and it's just not something I can use.
Right.
And that's why I need these grand juries, wax seal, bosh, white sign people that are going to stand on what they say and what they've done. Do you know what I mean?
And how recognised will that be by, you know, I mean, say you have a warrant, you've done your homework, you've got everything stamped and sealed the way you want it, and you and a couple of fellas go in to arrest Tony Blair, all right? Are you going to be arrested? I mean, did you hear about the story?
I wouldn't start off there. Can I just say that? And I don't think, because we need to start off smaller
But you
first.
mentioned corrupt judges, and there was a policeman in the north
Yeah.
of Ireland that tried to arrest a judge, and
I
he
know,
ended up in prison.
absolutely. 3 months, and 4 months?
Yeah, yeah.
Bang out of order, and we should have all been there helping that geezer out, because that's the sort of thing we need to do. And it's unreal again that he's in solid, bless him. This is the thing though, yeah. If we can talk to the police on a local level if we do it in the correct way, and we need sensible people, sensible heads that know what they're talking about. Again, we can give all that training.
Yeah.
To deal with these situations and completely talk on a sensible level, show them our paperwork, show them from a jury and then another jury, and there's no way that they can get out of it. And what I would suggest is we would be looking at the local top cops as quick as we can, because I know for a fact a lot of police, I talked to a lot of police already, and I know for a fact they want them out the way.
Yeah.
They've had enough, the same as us.
Yeah.
But you're never going to get the right reaction, Sean, in a situation where a lot of police have turned up to stop a lot of activists.
No.
They're not going to listen to your argument.
No.
They're not going to listen to what you're screaming in their face about them working for the corporation and blah, 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 because they're there to do a job. If you get them on a different footing on a different day, in a sensible surrounding, I can ring up tomorrow and get an appointment down my local police station with a sergeant quite easily.
Well, I know the conversations that you must have with individuals you meet, even on the street, even friends and family and all the rest of it. I'm just thinking, like, you know, I've had some conversations that have been absolutely wonderful, positive, and I know people are waking up. But I've also had people saying, "Oh, don't you know fluoride is good for the teeth? Don't you know that we have to buy our TV license? Don't you know that you've got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do..." And they really, genuinely, the Joe Blogs are enslaving themselves.
Well, this is it. I mean, we're so programmed now that we make the job easy. It really is. I'm sorry to say, Sean, but we are pathetic creatures at this point in time. We really are, you know what I mean? We're so easily, so we are a zombie nation, mate. You know, there's no two ways about it. And it's stop drinking Kool-Aid, people, you know, stop, you know.
Yeah, Darby says in the chat room, quite a few police are waking up. Massive
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's true.
And you know the ones to talk to, the old school. Go to the older ones, the ones that have been in there a few years.
And they've seen
They're
the
the ones to talk to. These young people haven't got the IQ, you know, they're not there for that. They're there to be thugs. But the old school lot, they're all right and they're well approachable.
Well, we better bloody hurry up then, had we?
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. People contact me tonight. If you're willing to build a peacekeeper grand jury team in your area, contact me tonight, yeah, and we'll build it. We'll get it sorted, and we'll get some action in your area. Let's do it.
Okay, well, Kai, I don't know if I'm up to it. I'll have to hear what your training and everything entails, but I'm up for starting one in Galway.
Happy days. Your coordinator there.
Let's go for it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So
PeacekeeperHQ@outlook.com.
Right, I will contact you.
That's what, I need to organise all these things, you know, because I've got so much going on.
Yeah,
so
right,
I sent
right.
The book. People are going over to the peacekeeper stuff. I've got other people going over to my other email. I've got other people. Yeah, so it's all about organisation at this point.
Yeah, Jones saying that, hey, some young people do have the IQ. Well, young people do, but not the ones they employ in the Gardaí over here.
Oh,
they
yeah,
have to
sorry,
be
I
under
think she mistook my point there. The police they're hiring just now are specifically not thinking.
They're ticking the boxes, aren't they, for the people they want to control? That's basically
Absolutely.
it.
And to be honest, they should, you know, a policeman should be all about keeping the peace. Keeping the peace, not kicking fuck out of someone that's, you know, done nothing. Do you know what I mean? It's, or giving them a ticket for nothing either. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's, the very fact that they're placing a fine on you is an unlawful act. It's extortion.
You see, the thing is, the Gardaí in Ireland, and I'm gonna make this point, Some of them are lovely. I do know that they're very important, and obviously I think peacekeepers, even if they continue as An Garda Síochána, because they're under their oath, etc., if in the future they, become, good people doing the right thing, there's some magical people. Just like in the pharmaceutical industry, there are people who care, there are people in doctors and nurses situations that are there because they want to save lives and all the rest of it. They just don't know the system they are being run by, and the lies they've been told, and the manipulation that they've been through, and that they are putting other people through. Wouldn't it be great if we did have a situation where we are able to talk to the guards, and they would help us doing what we're doing? And that's the point you were trying to make earlier, is that they are there for us.
I can tell you now, we're already talking to them. Mm-hmm. All right, trust me on that. And I can't say too much on now, but trust me, we're already talking to them.
Good.
But like I say, it's all about, see, I'm firmly expecting no one to email me. You will, Sean. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I know people won't email me because no one will step up.
But you've thrown the gauntlet down, guys.
I have thrown the gauntlet. Prove me wrong, people. You make sure, dedicated people, organised, willing to go to it. We're at war. You know what I mean? And I bet no one will do it. No one will do it.
Well, what I'd like to do then is, I will email you. What we'll do is have you back regularly, maybe, for a Peacekeepers update, UK and Ireland, and see how we're going. And if we're ignored. I mean, Vin came out with an idea about the Palestinian crisis there about a year ago, which I didn't see a problem with, and I thought, they were going to get lots and lots of reactions from it. Nobody. Just nobody either didn't listen or didn't want to listen. I don't know. I really don't know. It's now a case of, it's all well and good sitting here and saying, that's a good idea, that's a good idea. And I am a bit of an ideas man, Kai. For 100 ideas, I might only come up with one good one.
Yeah.
But that's what we're doing, is trying to move past the talking.
Absolutely. And to be honest, Sean, no one else has come up with a better idea. And I'm not saying, if there is an adaptation to this or whatever, but no one else has got an idea. We're all running around like headless chicken, trying this and that, the other. Ultimately, we have all got the power of arrest. If we do it as implicitly, carefully, possibly and fairly and transparently as we can, they can't dispute anything. They just cannot dispute anything. And the public servants, which gives us another upper hand,
Absolutely.
It's all about how we talk to these people. And remember, we're trying to protect your job here, guys. We want, you should be on double the money you are on, because you should be doing a dangerous job, not revenue collecting. But there's a whole, and they know this, not the young ones, but the old school ones, 40 plus, and we've got to get them quick before they all disappear.
Yeah.
But 40 plus, they're all sensible, man.
No, absolutely.
And we can talk to them.
I think so. Shall we have another wee break? And
absolutely.
Yeah. Tell you what, we've got a couple of great tracks here from XSLF. I do want to play some more to sort of give people a taster, and maybe turn up to Belfast or Dublin Friday in Belfast, Dublin on Saturday. I'm going to have Johnny Was, a great version by XSLF, followed by one of their own tracks called 36. Here we go.
Yo.
And welcome back to Out of the Bag. This is Sean Maguire live on People's Internet Radio. That's www.people'sinternetradio.com, where we are seeking solutions. And that was XSLF from their brilliant Inflammable Material EP with Johnny Was and 36. Nearly 36. That's 37 in the chat room, and 36 people who can get together and do good things. That's basically what that's about, you know. And we can emulate, if you like, good people, the good work they've done in the past, and do it for them as well as for the future generations. I really do think so. So people are asking also, I'm getting private messages for Kai's website, the Peacekeeper site. So I've just got it there, and I'm going to pop it into the chat room. It is www.Peace Officer Most Wanted List. So Peace Officer Most Wanted List .wordpress.com, and I'll pop that into the chat room for people to take a look at. And I've also got check Kai Holloway, that's Kai Holloway, on Facebook as well, and those websites will be on the blog, the podcast page once the show is finished, and also how to buy the book as well will be there, even though hopefully you'll get it before midnight free. If not, it's only a few bob afterwards. Kai, are you back with me?
I am indeed.
Brilliant. So yeah, private messages while the tunes were on, asking for your website, asking for how to contact you. So put the email address obviously as well for anyone who wants to get into the coordination side of things. That was, what was that again? That was
I'm sending it to you now.
I've got to scroll up. It is a busy chat room, so it is. peacekeeperhq@outlook.com. That is what it is. So that's brilliant. So many ways to get in contact with you. Even if they want to ask you questions, they can come on your Facebook page maybe.
Absolutely.
And
or Twitter, I am no one special, or at Kai Holloway.
Okay, so at Kai Holloway, or I am no one special.
Just no one special.
Oh, no one special. Grand. Sure, we're all special, and we're not special at the same time, unless we could actually get off our arses and do something about this.
Well, if you don't know something's wrong now, you never will. And we're in a very dangerous precedent. And if it seems what they want to do happens, there's going to be a lot more dead souls in the next possibly few years on our planet, and it's for corporations' profit, and we've really got,
if ever there was a time to step up to the plate.
Absolutely. It's nothing you can, here, when I woke up, you go through the research. If you do it properly, you go through the whole lot, you do the alien bit, you do the Anunnaki bit, and if you're sensible when you do the research, you also go to debunk stuff. So you've got to get a moderate on everything you look at. So you do the whole research thing, and you come around, you do the Freeman bit, you do all this, and you come around to where you start, and you go, right, okay. So now that I know all that, what am I going to do? You can only research so much, people, you know what I mean? What are you going to do now? Are you just going to sit and watch other people doing it? Are you just going to sit and wait for something to happen? You know, and I hope that people aren't the doom-tards that I think they are. And people have got to be careful of the internet, because it's as bad as the TV, you know, and you've got to take it off the screen, and you've got to go and implement what you know. And, 5 years ago I was a builder, and I was just doing the normal things. I had a Range Rover. I had a really nice house, and it was all those things that mattered to me, And, now, it's a complete opposite end of the scale, because none of that shit matters. It's about saving my kids' lives. It's about saving my neighbours' lives. It's about saving Palestinian lives. It's about saving, Syrian lives. I'm fed up of seeing children covered in blood and crying for, protecting the tiny toddler sister and, from bombs that we've paid for, and we just turn a blind eye to it because we're sitting watching fucking X Factor. And it's, to be quite honest, people, That's, in a sense, that's going back to the book. That's why it needed to be written with a tone of contempt, because everyone needs a bit of a slap on the face at this point, because the way we exist is just damn wrong. It's damn wrong.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that do need a slap in the face, but usually it's the ones doing wrong for me. I think, when a politician is outed for being corrupt and nepotistic and all the rest of it, and when a sex offender is genuinely known to be a sex offender and the judicial system chucks him out on the street because he didn't rob a bank, that type of thing, I genuinely think we should walk up, when we walk past them, just point the finger at them or even give them a little slap across the face,
Well, it's one way of dealing with it, but, it's, I don't know, we really need to wake up and fast. It's getting dangerous, Sean.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a poem?
Absolutely, my friend.
Because you've actually put one of my poems into your book, which I'm quite honoured that you did that. If people actually read all the way to the end of your book, they will find a Sean Maguire poem in there. But I won't read that one out unless it naturally and magically comes out from you picking a number. You haven't got my book, have you?
I haven't, my friend.
No,
I thought you were going to send me it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. Remind me about that, definitely, because you sent me the PDF of yours. The least I can do is to send you mine. But in the meantime, would you pick a number for me between 10 and 90? Massive spread, but don't have a favourite number or a girlfriend.
27.
27. So can I read page 27 from me book?
Indeed.
Okay. Let me see if I can get... do you know what? I'm getting to the stage where I'm going to have to put my glasses on. That's very sad, isn't it? 50 years old, so I am. 27. Okay, it starts on page 26 and goes on to page 27. And it goes like this. When you wake in the morning, are you ready for the day? Are you always looking forward towards your dreams? Or are you wishing that when you sleep your troubles will go away because the day before was hell, or so it seems? It's easy to forget that we have the ability to cope with all that life will throw upon your plate. And when all seems lost, and you count the cost, at least it's a little hope, and with courage we can all live out our fate. Facing the day in your own special way will allow you to simply achieve. The things that you need, with action and deed, will appear when you really believe. There you go.
Right, that was awesome, And just the right time, That was awesome. Wasn't that a good page to pick out?
Wasn't it just? It's a bit of synchronicity, absolutely. Because look,
right,
we have to believe in what we're doing, or how the hell can we do it?
Absolutely. And here, people, this is a fantastic, I know I talk a lot, I know I'm very honest, there's no point in talking shit anymore, people, let's call a spade a spade. But on the other hand, we got to live life and we got to love life and we got to smile and laugh every day and appreciate everything you've got, cause, that's life, man, and it's the little things that make it special and, absolutely enjoy, embrace, and what a bang on time for that poem, my friend. Absolutely bang on.
And the thing is, you are actioning. People can see you by your deeds. The book that you wrote as well, that is an action. You've put into print, if you like, a collation of facts about how we are being enslaved on this planet, and it's just, it's a must-read for everyone. I really do think so. Even the ones that know, that are aware of a lot of what you've put in the book, the way you've put it, it's so, for me, nutshells it all and proves that there's only a few at the top that need changing. And once that happens, pretty much all the rest of it would disappear, wouldn't it? All the campaigns that people are on, getting fluoride out of the water, or the vaccinations, the GM foods, the chemtrails, the whole lot. Exactly, all of it will not happen if the right people are making decisions.
If there's a lot of us now. There's a lot, but a small minority, But there's enough of us to cause serious damage. And if we can just focus our energies under one, campaign, if you like, and let's just get some lawful remedy in our lands. And if one country sees another country doing it because we're so transparent and so out there, you know, that's another thing that peacekeepers have got to do. We've got to be absolutely bang on top of our public relations, you know, and be completely transparent and everything, you know, decided by the people, you know, that's the thing. And it's, I'm very positive about it, but people have just, you know, got to be motivated. There's the time for being behind a computer screen. Yes, we're still informing people. Yeah, there's still work to do there, but that only takes a quick few messages, you know, and a bit of a get on the street and let's start making this work.
Absolutely. Well, do you know what?
Make change.
Synchronicity is a wonderful thing, and I got a couple of messages from a guy called Brian there yesterday, and we had a bit of a chat, and we're going to meet face-to-face in person tomorrow evening, and we're going to be discussing the fact that he is hopefully going to donate. He's got a business that he uses, and he has basically a mobile stage and mobile staging. And what I was thinking was maybe People's Internet Radio or a few other groups could utilize this wonderful gift. Yes, it'll cost us a bit of money, so we have got a donate button on, you know, for how we keep going on the radio, but also maybe to support this. Maybe take that stage to festivals, maybe take it to outside courthouses. I was
thinking this, if we start having peacekeeper festivals and stuff like that, so that people, just all that sort of thing, and anything like that, you know, we should all be sitting down talking about, you know.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it really, really is important that we do stuff. Isn't Joan's having a bit of a dig at me for saying that I should slap people? She thought I was a pacifist. so sometimes you have to pass a fist, actually. But anyway, that's only if push comes to shove. And she says, "Tut tut, slapping folk in the face solves nothing. Tut tut, Sean." And here I thought you were a pacifist punk. I said her answer to her, I didn't mean a hard slap. I just mean pointing them out.
Just a gentle persuasion.
They're definitely going to get a big slap when they are pointed out so much. I mean, I really can't believe that psychopaths are able to rise to the top, and you know the scum gets to the top because they don't give a shit and they step on everyone. And the good people seem to be the ones that are stepped on. So we got to change that paradigm.
It's that mentality. What can I do? Oh well, well they're always doing it. You know, fuck that. What are you doing? You know, the reason that you pay the taxes you pay is because of, and it's going to private pockets and killing people, and your petrol's so expensive. It should be so cheap right now. It's not true. Yeah. You know, it's, your fags, you're shopping. You know, people haven't noticed the smaller packages. They're getting in bigger packages in the supermarket at the moment. That's called inflation. You know, and you're getting like 300 grams, what you used to get 500 gram of cornflakes.
Yeah, wagon wheels just aren't the same size, are they?
No, man. You know what I mean? It's like, you know.
Oh, was that I had smaller hands when I was little?
Well, my friend, you know, people do not realise you would be quite well off if you weren't paying all that tax. And if we had the systems in place, we shouldn't be paying for our utilities. Oh my God. In this day and age, you know, even when they put solar panels up, they're still ripping you off. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's not, everything is just set up to rip you off. And if we can just concentrate and get rid of these geezers, we need to start at a base level, get our police behind us, and then we can all organise and all rally on a certain spot and go bosh. Yeah, that's the day that we look forward to.
I can't believe the programming though on British television. Pretty much any sport. If someone's going to discern, I watch live sport occasionally. They can't really do much about a team on a pitch, I suppose.
Internet's as bad, mate. Internet's as bad.
But I just can't believe the advertisements on the advertisement stations over there. It's join the army, join the navy, join the war, basically.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, funny, this is something I wanted to say about the book. The book I've done, I am going to revise it, and I'm going to, once I brought up Slaves Go to Freedom, I'm going to revise this one and make it a bit more in depth, because there's so much more that should go in there. One being that the academies are setting up in the UK now. Did you know they're 70% funded by the military?
Says it all, really, yeah.
And this is a dangerous, dangerous thing, and people don't know this. If they knew this, do you think they'd be so happy to send their kids there tomorrow?
No.
You know, that is a dangerous thing, especially when there's hints of, national service, this, that, that. Oh, Harry, yeah, I think we should have, you know, and Hollingbourne a couple of years back trying to get the bill through, you know. It's not, you know, this stuff's coming, and are you going to send your kid over there?
Well, do you know what? I'm wondering, because I do talk to a lot of friends in England, and there are a lot of families who are so proud of their uniformed children.
I know.
And they're so proud they're fighting for the country, and they're standing up for the British flag and all this type of stuff.
But this is the thing, everything affects them, and if we could just speak to them in the proper way, like give them the book. It's unequivocal. Read that and come back to me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's literally what I'd be saying to people now, you know, just don't read that, you know, and tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, we've got a bunch of psychopaths right at the top, you know. I don't know how many they are.
They do not give a shit about
they're planning World War III. It's that simple.
Absolutely. And they're doing it. They're managing.
Yeah, since World War II.
You know. And we're so divided, we couldn't be more fractionalized if we tried, you know what I mean? It's absolutely unreal. And that's what we've got to try and do. We all want the same thing. And I don't care who you are. Every man, woman, everything. They just want to get on with their life. Hopefully get a couple of holidays in a year. You know, have a nice Christmas or whatever your celebration is around the year. You know, people just want to live in peace and harmony. And there's one infectious few in our society, and it's time to rid the planet of them once and for all. And I'm not talking about killing them, by the way. I'm not up for that, you know, but they need a lesson, you know.
They need a situation where they're never given the authority of power ever again.
Ever. And the whole, you know, there's none of the family have ever got a chance to get in. None of that. We just wouldn't have a system in place that would condone that sort of behavior. And I think, you know, we've got a minimum wage. We should have a maximum wage. You know, corporations shouldn't be allowed to get, you know, we said it the other day, Sean, this society just needs a bit of tweaking and it would be all right. If a few things were taken out, fiat currency, bring back the Bradbury pound, go back currencies, you know, to reduce the taxes. I think 1% or 2% transaction on any purchase of anything, a house, a car, a boat, a can of beans, I think that would cover all the taxes that would be needed for whatever we need to do in society, you know, and people would be buff, minimum wage, it should be 20 quid or something like that, you know, and people should be working 4 hours a day, really. There should be, you know, very happy days. You know, and there's jobs for everyone contributes 4 hours a day. Do you know what I mean? But
absolutely,
I think it's a much fairer society. And
well, I honestly think as well that you know what you touched upon it earlier, and I wanted to mention it, you know, again, but you continued talking. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Sorry, bro.
No. I'm pulling it out now from an earlier part of the show, and that's, you know, you were saying that maybe we should have the politicians and councillors being voluntary, and that is the way to go. That is absolutely the way to go. And any of these people that are doing great in their communities and in their societies, I think will be respected for doing it. And so don't charge them on a bus or on a train, or give them a lift.
They get complete expenses paid while they're in that. I would say a 3-month rolling duty, yeah. And they're in there for 3 months, and then it rolls over, maybe stagger 150 and 150, something like that. But just roll them, and while they're in there, their expenses, rent, food, everything's paid, you know, whatever, you know. Yeah. But they must be vetted, so they've got no corporate ties with kids or anything like that. And, but happy days.
That would be the way. Listen, Muppet is saying, you know, talking about perspective. She's saying the horror of Syria and UK is an uproar over the police running over a dog. Now I volunteer for a dog rescue, but Jesus, let's get some perspective here.
Exactly. I mean, it's nonsense. And don't get me wrong, I know that people eat dogs in Korea, and, you know, they skin cats alive for Gucci or whatever, you know what I mean? Or they're animal testing, but this is what I'm saying. Sorry, what was her name, Sean?
Muppet.
A Muppet. Sorry, darling. Muppet. Very nice. But, you know, if we consider, let's face facts. You know, our cattle industry and our chicken industry is nothing to be proud of.
No.
And so you know, we're fine people to talk, and let's just sort out the job at hand, and we can sort everything out underneath that. That's all I can keep saying.
Yeah.
If everyone just concentrated and focused on the same bloody thing, we would get somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we've got to look after our health. We've got to look after our families, and we've got to make sure that knowledge comes in many, many forms. And to listen to all of it. Muppet's name is Claire. There you go.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you for your comment and then interaction.
Indeed. She also says the possibilities are there. Why don't the masses see it?
Exactly. But there's enough of us, Claire. There's enough of us. Honey, you send me your email. Coordinate your area. Do you know what I mean? Don't sit back. You know, this is my point. You know, everyone can do something. Be dedicated. Trust me, we can get there. Just do what you need to do. Spend 4 to 6 hours a week with me to start with. And that'll get busier, but we'll talk about that when it happens.
Well, absolutely.
You know,
I mean, we want it to get busier. If it gets busier, it means we're having some success, a modicum of success. We're getting more organised, and we're going there. We're getting there.
Would you rather live as being a slave or die being free? I know what I'd rather be.
Look, it's important that we do the right thing, and I don't know if half the things I say are right. I know I speak from the heart, Kai. And,
you're a good man.
Well, I think that's what you're doing too, my friend. And the book comes over with the tongue-in-cheek sarcasm and the way of putting it. It definitely does. It definitely does. And I admire you for doing it. I'm hoping that you will get many, many people coming and emailing you on your Outlook.com. And I really do hope that people connect with you on Facebook. They check out your WordPress and all the rest of it. It'll all be in the podcast. We've just flown through 2 hours, my friend.
Absolutely. Time flies when you're having fun.
It really does. So look, Kai Holloway, it's been an honour and an absolute privilege having you on the show again. I do want people to check out the show I did with Kai 2 Tuesdays ago, not yesterday, but the one before, and check out all my shows, obviously, on www.outofthebagradio.weebly.com. And yeah, let's get this rocking and rolling. And Kai, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you again. We've got more information to get from you. If I'm going to be emailing you, I'm going to be asking you all sorts of bloody questions. You're going to say, Jesus, why did I ask him to email you? But, you know, that's how it is, and we've got to learn.
Well, maybe like you say, we'll do a little regular spot or something just to update people on what they should be doing at a particular time.
Definitely. You'll be more than welcome for that. So, Kai Holloway, thank you so much for coming on Out of the Bag, my friend.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, my friend.
More than welcome. So, I'm going to continue with another track from Inflammable Material EP, and it's a little short one, but it's a great version of, I think it's a great version anyway, of Alternative Ulster. They call it Alternative Ulster 21. Let's have a listen.